Good evening, and thank you for joining us as we gather to celebrate the volunteers of Special Olympics Northern California. My name is Kim, and I'm an athlete from Santa Clara County. I'm thrilled to be here today as one of the hosts leading tonight's program. You may know that our volunteer base is fundamental for us to be able to host competitions and events for athletes like me. I am thankful for being able to celebrate our volunteers with you all. So let's get started. Our first part of the show will highlight two areas in which our volunteers often support us while wearing a uniform. First, law enforcement torch run, and second, healthy athletes.
Good evening. This is Captain Christopher Sherry of the California Highway Patrol Dublin area, and I'm a law enforcement torch run volunteer. I actually hold a position on the Special Olympics Northern California Law Enforcement Torch Run Advisory Committee. I've worked with California Highway Patrol for 25 years, and the fundraising efforts and the participation that my crew and I put in for the Special Olympics is the highlight of our year. Law enforcement personnel all across Northern California are proud to support Special Olympics through participating in the annual Torch Run, along with a number of other events, activities, and fundraisers. While the Torch Run takes place throughout communities all across Northern California, we always end up at the opening ceremony of Special Olympics' largest event, the Summer Games. This year's run was our biggest and best yet, with over 220 agencies and over 2,600 runners helping to carry the flame of hope and raise awareness for Special Olympics. You can also find many law enforcement torch run volunteers donating their time to show up at polar plunges, as well as Bike the Bridges, Tip-A-Cop events, bocce competitions, and of course, the Summer Games. And whether at the Summer Games or one of Special Olympics fundraising events, you might even see me and some of my colleagues getting in on the fun. While we like to have some fun, we as law enforcement personnel also take our role seriously in raising both funds and public awareness for Special Olympics programs and athletes, along with highlighting the importance of inclusivity of children, youth, and adults with intellectual disabilities. We're proud to continue to carry the flame and represent Special Olympics Northern California. So thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for your support.
Hello, this is Lindsay Bowling from Sacramento County, and I am a staff member for Special Olympics Northern California, and I help with our Healthy Athletes program. Our Healthy Athletes program allows us to offer health and wellness services to athletes all across our region through the generosity of clinical directors and medical professionals. Special Olympics Northern California is able to offer clinical screenings, medical advice, and even some medical goods to our athletes with related medical needs. Whether for hearing, dental, or vision care, or for maintaining fitness, stress levels, and a healthy lifestyle, we are grateful to be able to offer such services due to the involvement and commitment of hundreds of clinical volunteers throughout Northern California. In addition, the Healthy Athletes program has offered a number of fitness activities, both virtual and more recently in person. While we have navigated the restrictions and the amended sports schedules due to the ongoing public health situation, the athletes have been eager and excited to participate in such programs, and volunteers and coaches have continued to make it all possible. Health and fitness seasons in both 2020 and 2021, along with multiple walking club programs, allowed us to stay focused on athlete health, even in a virtual format. One of my favorite things we've been able to do virtually is having social calls with the athletes, and so many amazing volunteers have joined in on the fun. It has been wonderful to see the volunteers interact with the athletes during craft corners, our talent show, trivia nights, playing bingo, and last but not least, dance parties. Who doesn't love a good dance party? As we get ready to close out 2021, we want to thank all of those who have supported the Healthy Athletes programs and helped improve the well-being of our athletes. Look for more health and wellness and fitness programs coming your way in 2022.
Thank you to all of our volunteers in the law enforcement torch run and healthy athletes. I enjoy the health Zoom calls like stretching with Dr. Lindsay and game nights. I'm also a part of the rest of the LETR Exclusive Committee and ran in the final leg torch run in 2015. My name is Jonathan Sparks, and I'm an athlete from Sacramento, California. Thank you to everyone for being with us tonight to celebrate and thank our volunteers. There are a lot of ways that our volunteers support Special Olympics Northern California, and it is fun to be able to honor them tonight. You may know that we have a very active school partnership program that works with schools all over Northern California. Let's hear a bit more about the program and recognize a few special milestone awards reached by our volunteers this past year.
Hi, this is Adelina Garcia. I'm a student at Pittsburgh High School, a member of the Youth Activation Committee, and a volunteer through the Schools and Partnership Program. Each year, Special Olympics Northern California works with school administrators to develop events and programs at schools throughout the region that promote inclusion, acceptance, and respect for all students. The cornerstone of becoming a unified champion school is having a unified sports program that brings athletes with and without disabilities together to compete alongside one another. By also including whole school engagement and inclusive youth leadership, schools become champions of our mission to foster inclusion and understanding and instill confidence in all students. With 357 schools in our region participating in SONC programs, over 55,000 students involved overall, we have hundreds of students, teachers, and administrators volunteering their time and energy to keep Special Olympics programs thriving and growing at their schools. Students with and without disabilities are able to share similar experiences and perhaps most importantly are able to do so together. Being part of a unified champion school has been very fun. I've made many friends and great memories. One of my favorite memories was working on an awareness video for White Cane Day. We filmed a skit showing the do's and don'ts of what to do around someone who is visually impaired. The video was posted for the whole school to see, and I was very proud of how it came out. On behalf of the students and athletes who participate in the many schools, programs, and events across Northern California, thank you to all of the volunteers who help organize and manage over 400 Special Olympics schools events every year.
Special Olympics Northern California is proud to recognize volunteers who return year after year to support our athletes and programs. Please join us in celebrating these dedicated volunteers who reached significant milestones of service this past year.
Thank you, volunteers. Can you believe we had some volunteers supporting our programs for over 50 years? That's incredible. Thank you to everyone who supports our programs year and after year. You truly make it all possible. We have a lot of groups and partners who support us athletes. Let's take a few minutes to recognize them. Then we'll hear from a couple of special guests joining us from Special Olympics Northern California headquarters.
Hi, I'm Christy.
Hi, I'm Angela.
We are Special Olympic bowling coaches.
And athlete leadership
and health messengers. We receive a lot of support from community leaders, groups, and teams outside of the typical volunteer roles.
And we wanted to take a moment to recognize them and their contributions and to send a big thank you to all of those people and whose names you should be able to see on your screen.
We know our Special Olympics accomplishments and experiences are possible because there are a lot of people out there helping make our programs and events work, and a lot of individuals and groups that support us as volunteers.
Okay, is that it?
Yep, I think we're done.
All right, nice job, and thank you to volunteers.
Thank you, everybody. And now we're going to turn it over to a friend of ours at SONC headquarters.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Solo, and I'm the President and CEO for Special Olympics Northern California. And tonight I have the honor and privilege of recognizing board member Tom Albanese. Tom is a good friend to Special Olympics Northern California and is passionate about our work and the athletes that we serve, and it's reflected in everything that he does on behalf of our organization. Tom joined the board in 2013 and quickly made an impact on the lives of our athletes. The first thing that comes to mind is Tom's efforts every year to organize the Battle of the Bay Charity Bocce Tournament in partnership with former NFL coach Steve Mariucci and former NFL coach John Madden. And all three of them together hosting the Battle of the Bay Charity Bocce Tournament on behalf of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. We are one of the largest beneficiaries of the event. There are other beneficiaries as well, but typically we receive in the neighborhood of $100,000 per year. And the way to look at that impact is, if you think about it, it costs about $250 per sports season for our athletes to participate in Special Olympics. And of course, there's no cost for them to participate. And so the proceeds that are raised from that event support 400 athletes competing in one sports season. So that gives you one example of the impact that Tom has on the lives of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. But there's several other examples. Every year, Tom opens up the Campo de Bocce facilities for us to host the Silicon Valley Bocce Bash as well, which is one of our other large fundraisers. 2019 pre-COVID, the event generated about $90,000. And so Tom and his team work with our staff to make sure that the facilities and the venue can accommodate a large number of our guests to raise money for our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. And again, former NFL coach, head coach Steve Mariucci participates in the event as well. Tom previously also hosted the Tri-Valley Bocce Bash event for us for a number of years, which gave us some visibility and presence in the Tri-Valley area at the former Campo de Bocce facility in Livermore. Tom is tireless in his efforts of promoting Special Olympics to his contacts and his friends. And a primary example of that this year is we were named a beneficiary for the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame event, thanks to Tom. And Tom's relationship with Mario Alioto, the Executive Vice President for the San Francisco Giants, who serves on the board for the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame. Thanks to Tom's efforts, we not only were a beneficiary, but our athlete and board member, Justin Steinberg, was able to speak publicly at the event at Oracle Park and meet former San Francisco Giants manager Bruce Bochy as he was inducted into the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, which was a tremendous honor for our organization. Tom opens up his facilities regularly for our Special Olympics Northern California athletes to compete in bocce competition events every year. And he is very generous with our athletes, and our athletes love the ambiance of the facilities and all the amenities that they enjoy there as well. Tom personally donates to the organization, gives his time, talent, and treasure on behalf of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes, and serves on the executive committee and serves on the resource development committee. We're all very blessed and fortunate to know Tom Albanese and to have him involved with our organization. I consider him a dear friend, and I'm just so grateful that he's come into my life and for everything that he does on behalf of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. Tom, thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you, David, and good evening. My name is Kathy Demansky. I'm the Chief Development Officer for Special Olympics Northern California. Flyers Energy has been a partner and supporter of Special Olympics Northern California for over 20 years, both on and off the field. When I think of what it means to have a strong corporate partner, I think of Flyers. Flyers employees annually volunteer at the bocce venue during our summer games, and they take part in the polar plunge, which is a lot of fun, to raise money and funds and awareness for Special Olympics. We're so grateful to have been the beneficiary of the Flyers Fall Classic Golf Tournament for many years, which raises critical funds and provides an opportunity for our athletes to interact and show their appreciation on the course. During the past 18 months, Flyers has continued their support and stepped up to help us keep athletes fit and connected with virtual programming. Even when they couldn't host the Flyers Golf Classic last year, Flyers still made a very generous contribution to Special Olympics. This funding was key to help us get through the pandemic and now return safely to the field. This continued support through our challenging period was one of many reasons we were proud to announce Flyers Energy as the recipient of the 2020 Special Olympics Northern California Corporate Philanthropy Partner Award earlier this year. Please join us in taking a moment to thank Flyers for their support as we highlight their commitment to Special Olympics athletes. On behalf of our staff and the thousands of Special Olympics athletes across Northern California, thank you, Flyers Energy, for your wonderful and valued support. We couldn't do it without you.
Tonight, I want to talk a little bit about one of the most important volunteers in the history of this organization. Matt Thompson, former board member, recently passed away of cancer, but he left an indelible mark on the lives that he touched in this organization. He was a leader. He was somebody that inspired people. When he passed, you could read all the tributes to him on LinkedIn in his role as Executive Vice President of Worldwide Operations for Adobe. Matt joined the board in 2008, and as he came on the board, he quickly made an impact on the lives of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. We had a golf tournament at the time that was fledgling. It was struggling. And Matt saw and had a vision for this event and what it could become. He quickly got involved and helped rebrand the event as a high-tech challenge. And through his influence with Adobe, he not only got Adobe involved as a gold level sponsor, but he also got other high-tech companies involved, including Salesforce, eBay, and NetApp, and many others. And thanks to Matt's vision and his diligence, the event became our premier fundraising event, and Matt became the chair of the event. In 2016, it reached its pinnacle, netting about $356,000 in support of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. Matt served on the board from 2008 to 2016, and he continued his efforts in inspiring our staff along the way. I remember fondly a board retreat in 2016 when he was critical of our individual giving efforts, in particular in the area of digital giving. And he challenged the staff. He's like, we need to do better here. And so thanks to his leadership, we ended up hiring our first digital marketing manager in 2017. And in those early stages that year, we raised over $100,000 in digital giving. He was always challenging me. We can always do better. David, 10%, we've got to at least grow revenues by 10%. That was a salesperson in Matt, and he knew that we could continuously do better on behalf of our Special Olympics Northern California athletes. He was strong on the board, and he genuinely cared about the people in this organization. He always asked about board members. He always asked about senior staff. He was a mentor to all of us and a friend. He was also tremendously generous. He's the second largest individual donor in the history of this organization. And he was always there for us no matter what, always concerned, wanting to make sure that our cash flow was good, that we had the revenue that we needed to support our Special Olympics athletes. When my predecessor, Rick Collette, retired Matt hosted an event at his home for Rick Collette for all his years of service. Matt had a special place in his heart for our Special Olympics athletes because he had a daughter with special needs. And that's why he was so passionate about our organization. We're also very blessed and lucky that Matt Thompson came into our lives and made the impact that he did on the organization. We'll be forever touched by Matt Thompson, and we'll always miss him. He's somebody that will never be forgotten. We're going to work with his family when it's appropriate and make sure that we honor his legacy the best way that we can. Matt, if you're looking down upon us all, just know how much we love you and we thank you, and we're so grateful for everything that you ever did for Special Olympics Northern California.
Thank you, David and Kathy, for sharing those tributes. And thank you to our board of directors for your guidance and support. My name is Jason Guillaume, and I am an athlete from Sacramento County. We're almost at the end of our volunteer appreciation night, but still have a few more volunteers we need to recognize. After all, this evening will not be complete if we didn't thank our coaches and all of the volunteers that supports our sports program. So let's hear from our coaches, and then please stay tuned for your final message. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Greg McKinney, or as many athletes know me, Coach Greg. For the past 18 years, I have coached Special Olympics swimming and softball in San Francisco. Over that time, I have worked with many talented, enthusiastic, and inspirational athletes. The coaches I have met and worked with have been amazing in their talents and commitment. When I first started coaching, I had no idea what a big impact Special Olympics was going to have on my life. As volunteers, we don't get paid. However, we receive limitless rewards. The first time an athlete has the confidence to jump into the pool and swim across the deep end is thrilling for coaches and family members alike. The first time an athlete gets a hit in a softball game will bring tears to the eyes of everyone watching. I can remember the excitement when our athletes worked together to turn a double play in a softball game, just like we taught in practice. You can't put a price on moments like those. Across Northern California, you'll find over 26,000 athletes participating in our community sports teams and programs in big cities, small towns, and everything in between. These programs would not be possible without an extensive foundation of volunteer support. Every year, over 3,000 coaches, unified partners, area directors, games management team members, medical volunteers, and others guide, encourage, and support our athletes at practices, competitions, and many other events. It is through the compassion and generosity of these and so many other wonderful individuals that Special Olympics Northern California sports programs continue to thrive. We appreciate the commitment and dedication of so many volunteers to the Special Olympics mission. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you to all the volunteers who are participating tonight. My name is Matt Bell. I'm the Director of Volunteer Services. And with me tonight in the control booth is our Senior Manager for PR and Communications. And he just happens to be the mastermind behind all of our video content. That's Tyler Crockwell. Tyler, how are we doing tonight?
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hey, Matt, we're doing great tonight. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. Shout out to all of our amazing volunteers. And how about our athlete leader host tonight? Great job, athletes. Special kudos back to you, Matt Bell, for organizing all of this and your dedication to the volunteers and all of our Special Olympics community. Have fun, everybody. Back to you.
Well, I want to thank Tyler, and I want to thank all of the athletes and volunteers who are part of tonight's show and made it possible. I also want to thank all of the community groups out there who come to event after event, year after year, and a really big part of our support and volunteer base. I have the great honor of recognizing a couple people tonight. And the first one is a gentleman who's done a lot for us in a lot of different ways, and that's Sterling Bobbitt. Sterling is a dadvocate. That is, he's the dad of an athlete, but also an advocate for his son Eric, as well as Special Olympics. Sterling's participated in a lot of different ways, and he's supported the program as a coach, as a unified partner, competing right alongside his son and other athletes, and also really spearheaded the volunteer application process over the last several years. He's been the one who's helped process thousands of applications, helped people on the phone and by email, and really given a lot of time and a lot of himself to the process. And I'm really thankful for that. I'm sorry we're not seeing him in the office anymore as he's retired from those duties, but he's certainly still part of the Special Olympics community, and we're very thankful for all that he does. Thank you, Sterling. We also had the great honor of recognizing one of our volunteers earlier this year for a national award. Special Olympics North America gives out an award every year to one coach, and as well as one in the schools program. And it just so happened that someone in our program was the recipient of this award earlier this year. You're going to see a short video about that, and then that's going to be followed by a message from another one of our coaches who just happens to be going to the USA Games next year in Orlando. Please stay tuned for those messages, as well as for some information at the end of the show about how you can nominate a 2021 Volunteer of the Year, as well as you can see what we have going into 2022 and how you can support us. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's kind of a thrill and an honor to be able to tell you on behalf of Northern California athletes, volunteers, coaches, our staff, our board members, that you've been selected for the 2020 Outstanding Coach for North America.
Congratulations, Jack!
Congratulations, Jack!
Jack,
you put up with us a long time. You're the best, Jack.
Dad, you deserve this.
Jack, you're in the company of the nation's finest coaches, true leaders and dedicated volunteers who serve as role models to other coaches, Special Olympic athletes, and unified sport partners. You have positively impacted the lives of many and contributed to the overall success of the movement and our organization. Our organization is built around volunteers. We wouldn't have a program for athletes without people like you, Jack. I mean, you're the absolute backbone of what we do. I'm deeply grateful for your hard work, applaud your high standards of excellence, and admire your generosity of heart. Congratulations again on being selected as a Special Olympics North America Outstanding Coach for 2020.
I'm very lucky to no less live with my coach and be a part of this Special Olympics organization was the best thing that I ever done. I started for 8 years when I was just 8 years old, and I kept going. I never gave up because I have a special person that put me through it and my role model in life. And that's my dad. I'm very lucky to have him. He is everything to me. He means the whole entire world to me. He's just a special person that I will love him for always.
Thank you. I had no idea. This just blows me away. It's just, it's so amazing. And I know everybody wants to get on the party, so I will conclude real quickly by, again, thanking you all. Thanking David, thanking you for your kind words. And I'm so happy that this could happen for Northern California as well.
Hello to everyone watching. I'm Janie Bucher, and I am a coach for Sacramento County. I've been a part of Special Olympics for 31 years, and I'm sure I've learned more from my athletes than they've learned from me. They are kind, honest, quick to encourage and to congratulate, not just to their teammates, but also to the opposing team. When they look at each other, they don't see disabilities. They see wonderful friends with awesome abilities. They make me a better person. I'm honored to be one of the 5 coaches heading to the USA Games in Orlando next summer as part of the Special Olympics Northern California delegation, which will include 20 of our athletes. All of the athletes and coaches are excited to be a part of USA Games, and we can definitely use your help in getting there. When you have a moment, please visit sonc.org/USA Games for information about the road to Orlando and how you can support the Northern California delegation. We'll also have the information listed here in just a few minutes at the conclusion of this show. On behalf of the athletes and coaches of Special Olympics Northern California, thank you. This will be a great experience and competition for our athletes as they meet and compete alongside Special Olympics athletes from all over the country. Thank you very much for your support.
Well, we have reached the end of our presentation for tonight. It's been fun honoring our great volunteers, and we look forward to doing it again next year. We want to take a moment to thank our corporate sponsors whose contributions and volunteer support help us provide all of our programs at no cost to our athletes and their families. Thank you, partners. As we get ready to sign off, don't forget to help us nominate our Volunteers of the Year for 2021. You can find information on our website at sonc.org. That's sonc.org. You'll also see more information about us supporting our road to Orlando. We can use your help. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you once again to all of the volunteers of Special Olympics Northern California. Happy holidays. Bye.
Thank you for keeping me healthy and interactive this summer. I love Special Olympics.